Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Now, I have not yet been to Makers. I am recording this voiceover before I go, so I've got no news to tell you today. But if you missed the last video, I'll link it here. We went full on, two worlds colliding, junk modelling, stamping, came into the resin world, and oh my gosh, we made these absolutely stunning, almost vintage letter fragment pendants using stamps, using alcohol inks. Go check out the last video if you missed it, but this is what we made in that video. Fully inspired by my friend Toni over at Crafty by Toni. I could not get enough. You'll know. The excitement was real. So, because the gold took over, like I mentioned on Saturday's video, the gold took over, I really wanted to use the golden taken over labels, and for that we're going to use the gold bezels. Now, oh my gosh guys, we are going full on 4 layers of UV resin. 4 layers. I really wanted to push it to its limits to see just how much we could do in one single solitary bezel, and that is what we're doing in this video. We're going 4 layers of UV resin, but not just that, like we're adding a little something something. As the TikTok says, add a little spice. We're adding a little something to elevate these and bring them up to next level. So we're not just doing a carbon copy of Saturday's video. We are doing something a little extra, a little extra. Okay, first things first, we're going to work out exactly what print we want inside these bezels, and we're going to draw around them on the back sides of our plastic sticky labels. And then once they're flipped around, even though that looks crazy wonky, that one on the right, I don't know where I was going with that cutting, but first layer of UV resin is going down. Now, if you missed Saturday's video, go watch it. What we did was we stuck the open bezels down onto our resin tape. Everything's going to be linked below. So any questions on that, then please see the last video. It will explain more. But we've already stuck our golden bezels down on our resin tape. Then we are putting the smallest amount of UV resin possible to give us a complete and utter filled in layer. No holes, no gaps, filled in, but teeny tiny. We don't want to do too much. So just the diddiest amount of UV resin is going into these. And because I'm only putting in a diddy amount, I can use these micro brushes quite happily. They're not too bulky now. They're not pushing the resin out and over the edges like I felt like they were doing before. So yes, I'm just spreading out this very fine layer of UV resin into all of the edges of all of these bezels, making sure. Now, if you did watch Saturday's video, you know I got myself in a bit of a pickle when it came to actually cutting these out. It worked in our favour, right? Because we got the Goonies map, but I decided to make life easier and because I just cheat. To make life easier, we're just going to go with squares and rectangles. It's so much easier to cut out anything when you're cutting straight lines, okay? And I just knew I had to use the squares and rectangles for this one. But yes, after we have finished completely making sure that that UV resin completely covers the bottom of the bezels, but not too much, like we're not putting too much in, like a teeny tiny amount. After we've done that, we're going to get our lighter and go over the surface to get rid of any surface bubbles. And then of course we need to cure these up. So these go under the UV nail lamp for around 200 seconds. Now we are elevating these up because the reason I only want one teeny tiny layer is because I want to add inclusions. What I really want to add is keys. These stamps, as I mentioned in Saturday's video, really reminded me of like a vintage old love letter, apart from the fact that I've got some postage stamps on there, but this one particular with this writing, I still haven't worked out what it says, by the way, guys. It just gave me love letter vibes, and it's almost like something you'd keep in a locket. Like, am I making sense? Like I said in the last video, it's almost like a letter that you found in an old box or up in the attic or, you know, behind a brick in the fireplace, and you've kept it. So you've put it in a little locket. And I thought keys would work so beautifully with this. So we're not going not junk journaling. We're not going steampunk. We're actually going like a lock, a key and a lock, lock, you know, key to my heart. We're going with that vibe. That's the vibe. And the reason I needed to do such a thin layer of UV is to get the keys in there. So if you watched a few videos back, you'll see that the keys were so big that they protruded over the surface of the open bezel, and I really didn't want that again. Oh, hello, we've got thunder. Newsflash, breaking this to let you all know we've got thunder. Anyway, so I really didn't want the keys to protrude. I wanted them deep down in there. I want the dome of the UV resin to completely cover the keys to give me the most beautiful finish. Hence 4 whole layers of UV resin. This is layer number 2 of the UV resin, and all we're gonna do here is put our keys down in. So I'm using the same micro brush just to push and shove all of that UV resin to the outer edges of these bezels. This step, actually, in hindsight, wasn't necessarily needed. I didn't need to push it to the outer edges of the bezels. All I really needed was just a dollop of resin to lay my keys down. That would have been absolutely ample, but this, for the sake of, you know, it being fluid and everything being nice and flat and neat and tidy, we've gone and done a whole flat level of UV resin. So again, blasting it with our flames before we put it under the UV light. We're gonna lay our keys down now. You saw the keys there, and I really had to find the tiniest little keys. The pack came with real quite chunky ones too, like depth wise they were quite deep and chunky. That wouldn't do. I had to find the teeniest possible keys, and I think I succeeded, and I just placed them down in the UV resin. I just had a fiddle, like I just had a play with my tweezers, moving them around to get them into the right area that I wanted them. And of course these square, this is what bugs me. Why is nothing straightforward, guys? These square bezels, tell me why they've put the loop on the corner. Aesthetically, that is bugging me very much. It's bugging me. Why would you do that? Anyway, yeah, I had to take that into account when placing the keys, because I thought, actually, if it's hanging at this like weird angle, just give me a diamond. Why? Who did that? I need their address. Yeah, I had to take that into account when I was placing the keys in, because it's just a weird thing to do. Really most upsetting. Anyway, we're done. So that is the second layer of UV resin, just to lock those keys in place, because now we are taking it up even further. We're putting a third layer of UV resin into these, and these do need to be completely flat for what we are about to do, for what we are about to receive, for what we are about to do. These need to be completely flat and pushed out to all the edges again. So there's a lot of pushing, a lot of pouring, a lot of pushing the resin out, a lot of UV with 4 layers of UV resin. But guys, I cannot tell you how much fun I had doing this. I had just as much fun, if not more, fun doing this than I did in the last project, because once I'd made these labels, I felt like, where do we go? Where can I take this? Where can I take this on the next level? You know, next level. We could obviously do coasters, clocks, bookmarks, you know, you name it, we could do it. But there is something so satisfying about staining our own paper or staining our own labels, inking and stamping our own labels, and then creating something from that. So layer number 3, UV resin layer number 3 is going under the UV light, and this is where we take it up another level. We're stamping again. The stamps are coming back out. We are going to make these letters, these words, we're going to make them pop. They're going to jump out of the page. They're going to jump out of the stamp, and we're going to see them 3D, because how cool is that? It's literally going to be 2 layers of stamped wording, if you like. That's it. That was my plan. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the first person to try this, by the way. Pretty sure I'm not. I haven't looked, I haven't checked, but I was just getting lost. I was getting absolutely lost in the possibilities of the creativity that we could do with this. Like, you get yourself a deeper bezel, you've got 3, 4, 5 layers of stamping, yeah? Butterflies, all different levels. Can you imagine? Blue ink at the bottom, and then just butterflies stamped, another layer of resin, another butterfly, another layer, another butterfly. Guys, the possibilities are ridiculously endless. I mean, they're probably endless, but they're pretty endless. Endless. I know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I hope you understood what I said there. We're just stamping. We're stamping on the clear UV resin layer. Now here's the thing. My camera's not doing a very good job of picking it up, but you have to just trust me when I say this now looks so cool. It looks so 3D, and it truly does look like the words are jumping off the paper. And now we're done. We are done. It's time to fill these up. This is layer number 4, UV resin. It is time to finish them off, dome them up, make them look super gorgeous. Even with the resin, I mentioned this in the last video before with the washi tape, they elevate. So everything underneath this layer of resin now gets magnified. It gets magnified tenfold, and it just looks so incredible. Go easy on your top coat like I am doing here. I don't want this resin to overflow. I want a nice chunky juicy dome on the top, so I am going slowly. It is slightly sped up because again this is a long process and I don't want you to sit through real time of me doing this because it's slow. I cannot pretend it's not slow. So yeah, and when it comes to it, just add 1 drop at a time until visually you can see that dome raise up around the edges, and you'll know when you see it. And when you see it, you are done. Get that flame on there, get them bubbles out straight under the UV lamp for 200 seconds. And look at these. Look at these. They look like artifacts from a museum. They're giving me so many different vibes right now, but loving them, guys. Now, just to mention, actually, Paul, if you're here, one of my patrons, Paul, did mention in the video that he does the backs of his. Now, I had been doing that, but I hadn't thought to share it with you. So even though we've done the front, we do the backs as well, just to double check, make sure. Guys, look at this. I actually put some in an open rotating moon pendant. Now, I made a whole video of those a few videos back now for my steampunk series. I had one left. I had one open bezel rotating moon left. Guys, absolutely obsessed. I will be wearing it at Maker Central. Here they are. I'm in love. I'm head over heels in love. I love the fact that we've got 2 layers of stamping on them. You can really see, it's hard because I feel like you can really see them, but I don't know if my camera's going to be picking them up. You can certainly see it on this one more so than the others. I absolutely love the key placement. I love that we found teeny little miniature keys. I think they work a dream. They certainly add to that fairy tale element, you know, like this is a key to somewhere special, or this is the key to, you know, your grandma's will, which we've locked in a locket. Do you know what I mean? Shouldn't say that, but you know, that's where my brain leads me. I love it. I absolutely love these. The possibility, even without the sticky labels, of just clear resin, stamping, another layer of resin, more stamping. I really want to explore that. I really want to see if anyone's done that. Or, see, you know, if you have done that, please join my Discord and put your photos in my Discord. I don't advertise it enough, but yes, I have a Discord now. The link is in my community tab. Guys, I've loved this so much. We have elevated from the last video. We've taken it up a notch. We've added 4 layers, 2 layers of stamping, keys. We've done it all. We've even had, you know, the time to just create a little quick rotating moon bezel because I wanted something to wear at Maker Central. But yeah, I've now got like 4 necklaces to wear at Maker Central. Anyway, I'm off, even though I've technically already been, because this is Monday that you're watching this, and this is like past Claire coming through in future Claire style. But anyway, I appreciate you all massively. I hope you've got inspiration from this. Again, if you try anything that you see on my channel, it's what I want. I want you guys to go out here and try these things. I'm definitely not trying to gatekeep anything. I'm not one of them people. I am a sharer. I want to share the love, share the work. You know, people that share together go so much further. Trust me. Just trust me on that one. Share your work on Instagram. Hashtag Claire made me do it. Hashtag Claire made me do it. I love watching that hashtag. I love following that hashtag and seeing everything you guys have made after watching my videos. But I appreciate you all massively, and I will see you all in Wednesday's video. Bye.